Good morning. I'm about to go and get my head read. No, you heard right. I'm going to get my head read. Went to the doctor the other day and discussed with him this little situation I'm having with my eyesight. I'd been to the optician the week before, and she can't find anything wrong with my eyes, other than the fact they're stuffed, of course, but other than that, she can't find anything wrong, except that we just can't get to that stage where the numbers on the board just aren't sharp. They're just not coming up. And I haven't had that problem before. It sort of started happening over the last 6 months. And it's either got to be neurological or medical, or because I gave up eating sausages at that time, because in that time I've lost 20 kilos. And the doctor doesn't seem to think that the sausage thing is a great importance in that regard, and nor did my optician. So as a result, we sat down and the doc said to me, well, look, he said, what we'll do, we'll send you along to the imaging place and get them to do a CT scan of your head, and we'll do your neck at the same time. So that's where I'm up to now, to get my head read. Now, we've had a bit of a hassle here in the caravan park in the last week. I turned on the water and there wasn't any. In fact, it was running at 6 o'clock. Let's back up a bit. A few nights ago at 6 o'clock, the water suddenly stopped. I was wanting to do the dishes or do something, I can't remember what. And there's actually some people in here now. There was no one here yesterday at all. And I thought, well, okay, where are you going? And so I thought, well, okay, it'll come back on again. 10 o'clock that night, the water still hadn't come back on again. So I took a wander over to where there was a problem. I spoke to my neighbour, and he said, no, he said, they've been messing around over there. He said, so maybe that's got something to do with it. So I went and had a look, and there was a flashing red light was going, and because everybody had gone home, so I thought, oh well, okay, maybe we'll get it back first thing in the morning. No, nothing happening. So I rang the office, and they said, yeah, no, there's a pipe burst, and unfortunately, it's we think it's probably going to be around about midday before we get it going again. Well, in actual fact, it was something like around about 2 o'clock that afternoon that we got the water back. And then yesterday it went off again. So they had more stuff they were doing. When I went out the other day, they had a digger in there, and all the ground had been dug up around the place, so working like crazy to try and get the water put back on again. So you can't complain too much, because at this caravan park, which is Happy Days in King River, they do an amazing job of looking after the grounds. They're always at them, and there's always maintenance being done. So it's just one of those things, you know. I suppose you put pipes down or whatever it is, and after a while they either split or rust out or something. Caravan park's been there for a long time. So they're just some of the little things you've got to put up with. And if you've got people coming in, of course, well, then it creates a problem, because they're going to want electricity and they're going to want water, and if for whatever reason those things aren't available, it sort of messes up with the bottom line a wee bit. But to their credit, they got the thing up and happening again. We just sort of hope that they finally got the problem solved. Meanwhile, we're going to get my head read. They're putting in a new truck bypass down here. I've spoken about this before, but I don't know whether it's actually made it to the YouTube or not, but essentially there's about 200 to 300 trucks a day come down here, and what they're doing is they get down to the end here, and then they sort of got to stop and hold up to turn right onto Menang Drive. Well, what they've been doing is they've been building this new road around and over towards a new overpass they're building, and they seem to have stopped in the last week. Now, whether that's because there's been a lot of rain happen and therefore the ground maybe is too soft to work with, I don't know, but it is what it is. And you can see where they're starting to put in the supports for the overpass. Not too much happening in there today, I can tell you that much. So they've been putting a fair bit of infrastructure to deal with this trucking problem. We did make a video earlier on about the trucking situation. This overpass was started back in about March, April I think it was, and it's due to be completed by around about August, September next year. So I guess we'll see what happens. Western Power out by the looks of things, dealing with some power poles and the like. The thing with the responders to electricity cutouts and water supply problems when they get a burst pipe or whatever it is, those guys have got to go out regardless of what time of the day or night, regardless of the weather, whether it's pouring down with the rain, precipitating, they've got to be there. So I have to say I'm glad it's their job and not mine. Here we are, the voodoo department, where they read the heads and things. That looks as good a spot as any to park in. So we knock that post over. So we have arrived, and I'm a little bit early, which is always better to be early. If you're not early, you're late. That's basically the way it is, isn't it? So, or to my way of thinking, if you're on time, you're late. You should be try and always be there, just a bit earlier. Okay, see you soon. Well, I had my head read and they didn't find anything, apparently. No, basically they laid me on a table and then they use one of these things that they move around your neck and that sort of thing and look on a screen, and every now and again it makes a weird noise, and then they sent me in somewhere else to have my neck checked out, and the first thing they do is check whether or not you're going to need to have the dye so they can see stuff, and I didn't need that, so I don't know what all that tells you, but anyway, it will go back to the radiographer, who will then send the info back to the doctor, and we'll find out from then how I'm going. Firstly, thank you so much for everybody who's just taken the time to write and let me know what they wanted to see when I asked what it was you wanted to see on the channel, or any ideas you had or any thoughts. And yes, there's room for thinking happening here. Now, some of the stuff I've already thought about and been doing something about, but let's see how we go. I'm a huge fan of touring videos, and yours are the best. Well, that's a matter of opinion, I suppose, as to how good mine are and whether or not they how they rate against other people's videos. But thank you. I was moving on back out west, and of course life happened to all of us during COVID. I watched videos like yours, and it was as good as the trip. I got out my maps and pretended I was out there following each leg of the trips around the Nullarbor. It was as close to being back out there in those places as I could get. You should do more videos about places, etc. as you see fit. Don't try and please YouTube. Well, no, I don't try to please YouTube. I do what I do, and I have what I have, and as I think I've mentioned before, I'm pretty much off the road these days. I'll be doing one-off bits and pieces, but I won't be towing the caravan. That's now parked up at his home, and I'm not taking it back out on the road again. I was starting to make a few too many little stupid little errors, and I'd hate to be the person who was the one who caused something to happen that was rather disastrous. I don't have an ego that says I can do it all and I'm good enough for this or I can do that regardless. I'm hitting 79 this year, and that's not real old. I mean, we'll talk a bit about that a bit later in the video. But no, I've got what I've got, and yeah, I do go out every now and again and do a bit, so that's all good. Father and son tours would be smash it for the folks that really want to go full Matilda way. It is really an experience for Gen Xers who really have that open mind to being out there without the glam camp, but still need to be guided along for support just to get those memories of the old Australian outback vibe we still hold most close and dear in these times. Thanks for your videos. They really capture the travelling and sights without stopping for lunch somewhere on the Gun Barrel Highway amongst them all. You know how to handle these roads and how to transverse them without needing to put some lifestyle marketing twist on it. Authentic, great attitude and outlook, good knowledge of Australian outback towns. Okay, let's have a look at the last, there's a couple of things there. Firstly, father and son tours. We started doing this, I started this back in 2005, and I have a video out called, what was it called? It's about the old girl, the Land Cruiser. The Land Cruiser story, I think. I've forgotten what it was called now, but... and after I'd done my Northern Territory trip that year, the following year my son and some of his mates suggested that we go out and we look out in the bush, and that had been on my mind anyway. So we went and we did the Gun Barrel Highway and the Connie Sue Highway, and we had a look at Uluru and the Alders, Katajuda as it's called, and that was the first of our trips, father and son type thing. He wasn't driving at that point in time. He'd just done 3 or 4 years in Europe driving Contiki, and he was over the driving thing, so he sat in the passenger seat for that trip, and I'm just trying to remember whether he did when we did the Amberdell Highway. I got a feeling that he was he was riding shotgun in that one. But then we did some stuff together, and including the oh heavens. Well, certainly along the Trans-Australia Railway line in 2015, that was the big one, of course. And we did some stuff on the Nullarbor when we were doing that. So, yeah, we've done some stuff together, quite a bit together. And these days, my major involvement with his touring is just producing and doing his videos for him. He shoots them and does his thing, and then I get him to edit them, set it up so he edits it, and then I have nothing to do with the rest of it. I just do as I'm told, as any good father would. So that's to do with the father-son thing. Gun Barrel Highway, yeah, we did all that to start with. An authentic, great attitude, outlook, good knowledge of Australian outback towns. I've been in a lot of Australian outback towns, and I've got to tell you, my knowledge is basically, when I'm doing the videos, is the research I do, generally after the fact, and that's been the problem for me all the way down the line. I've gone out, I've done the trips, I've driven through the towns, not knowing where I was or what I was doing or what I missed, and I would do all that totally differently if I was doing it again now. There's quite a backstory as to why things are done the way they are, but we'll worry about that another time, without needing to put some lifestyle marketing twist on it. Now, that's another thing. All of my travels have been totally self-funded. From the time I started, I have not chased or sought sponsorship or anything like that. I like to be true to myself, and if I like something or I like a product or whatever, then I'll say I like it, and I paid for it myself. If I don't like it, I'll say I don't like it, and I don't have to then turn around to the company who's probably sponsoring or whatever and say, well, look, I'm sorry, but that's the way I really feel about it. You know, my integrity stays intact. These days, the young people, yep, they're out there finding people to pay for their trips for them. That's basically the way it works. And good on them. I worked and then had the money to, or some of the money, to actually do the travelling. When you're young, you don't have that money, so you've got to find a way to do it. You've got to work your way or whatever it is, and so they do the sponsorship thing as they go. And fair enough, but that's not my way. Okay, I feel lucky to have found your channel, which fueled me for my comeback from years of homelessness to return to Oz. I've just recently started watching Brett's channel. Your channel deserves hundreds of millions of views. Well, come on. Let's not get too cocky here. I'd be more than happy with just a couple of million, quite honestly. If you think that more people should see it, then hey, why not share it? If you run a Facebook page, if you see a video you like, share it onto Facebook. Tell your friends to watch it. Don't tell them, ask them nicely. Exactly. So he was in a situation where he was homeless and that sort of thing. Now, there's an awful lot of people that watch my videos who have told me over the years they're either too ill, or they're incapacitated, or they don't have the wherewithal to go out and travel, and that's sad. But they get their travel kick from watching my videos, and that's all the thanks and all the plaudits I really need is the fact that they're getting something out of it, and they're being entertained, and they're being also hopefully educated a bit as well. Love your video. Okay, a few suggestions. I think people who travel are interested in roadside camping stops, caravan parks and their amenities, points of interest at your destination, and maybe you're walking around these places pointing out the good and the bad. Once at locations, having a chat with people, getting their views on things, this is what I would like to see, and I feel others would like too. You have a lot of knowledge to pass on for travellers, and a few modifications could throw your channel up there. The information on the areas are great. Keep up the good work. Many thanks for all you do. Since 2010, have travelled solo. Almost. I travelled to Queensland and I met up with a lady called Leslie, who was a photographer. We travelled all over Queensland for about 8 months, and there was a time at the very beginning where I had drowned a video camera, and so I didn't have a camera to work with, and I took a lot of photographs instead. But we went to a lot of places then. I would love to have done that with the video camera, but it didn't happen. But then in March, May, something like that, we hit the road, and all of those parts of those travels are actually up on YouTube. I've been going through of recent times to do that. But that was back in 2010. So we'll talk more about that shortly. Caravan parks, I don't use caravan parks all that often. I've always, as I said, I'm a solo traveller. I stop at night time and I set up and I do my social media stuff. Now, even if I can't upload it, I do the social media stuff, and I always download the video out of the camera, make sure that everything's working, see what I overlooked, what didn't happen, and that sort of thing. And that generally takes 2 or 3 hours a day. So when I'm travelling, I do that, and then if I've got to stop for 2 or 3 days, every now and again you've got to wait for the credit card to catch up. And so for 2 or 3 nights, I would find somewhere off-road and just pull in, park, and stay there for that period of time. I'm a generator user. The reason I use a generator essentially is because of the fact that I refuse to live in a caravan freezing to death or cooking to death. I do use a microwave oven, and of course my computer setup is all 240 volt as well. This is back in the days before we had these lithium battery things and all that sort of stuff. And again, it was done pretty much on the cheap. These days they'll buy a vehicle and they'll spend whatever they paid for the vehicle, and then they spend another $20,000 or $30,000 getting it all ready to tour. I've got another video somewhere which tells you about all that. No, just keep it simple and look after your vehicle when you're on the road. Keep the thing serviced, all good. Have I got off the thing here? So basically, yeah, I don't spend a lot of time in caravan parks, and where I camped on quite often was just in gravel pits or in metal dumps on the side of the road. Pull off, you're right beside the road. I didn't worry too much about whether I was safe or not, because there's traffic going past all the time. You can be seen. Some people will get in and they'll climb right out into the back blocks and get right away from everything, where you can't be seen. And that's got two things about it. One is, because you can't be seen, then you're relatively safe because no one knows you're in there. But the other side of it, of course, is that someone might know that you're in there and they might not be the nicest of people, and you might not get found for a long time. So there's fors and against, isn't there, one way or another? Depends on how you look at things. So as a result, I didn't ever get round to talking to a lot of people, except maybe when I went into a museum or something and I would talk to people or whatever there. Yeah, I did have a chat with people and get their views on things, but a lot of that comes out in if people who have been watching my road trips, quite often I would talk about these things as we're driving along the road. You're watching all the countryside go past while I'm talking all my gibberish and rubbish to the camera. And that's where a lot of the information and everything went to. So go back and have a look at those road trips. Okay, so now where are we here? My favourites were the Backroad series. Also like the major trips you did. The Backroad series was born out of a matter of I've sort of stopped doing the major stuff these days. What do I do now? And as all of my stuff is basically an archive. It's 2021 and older. And so I thought, well, yeah, I was in Bridgetown, living in Bridgetown for a little while, supporting a mate over there, and I drove past a road and I thought, I wonder where the hell that goes. That's where it came from. I turned and I went down the road, and then after that I thought, well, I wonder where all these roads go. So then I started doing it, and that became the Country Back Road series. It's a great day for a drive in the country, so why don't we get out and look for a back road and see what we can find? A country back road. And every now and again now, we still find a road we haven't been down, so we'll go down it, and it gets added to the series as well. So if you want to know what happens off-road, okay, we all drive along a road and see a road take off and think, well, I wonder where that goes. And we don't turn down and go there because of time or whatever. That's where the Back Road series came from. So it's worthwhile having a look at that one, I feel. Find all your videos entertaining and informative. Maybe add the hype button to your subscribe and like section. That might help with the algorithms. I read that, and I had been thinking about the hype button thing. I thought, well, where is this thing? Because someone else said to me, they said, I try and hype your stuff. Well, how are they hyping it? Because when I have a look at it, it only applies to certain videos, and you've got to apply to do it, or you've got to, and I haven't done that. So I don't know. I don't know. Is it worthwhile? Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. Why not do as I said earlier on? If you're on YouTube or somewhere, take the URL, put it on YouTube and share it. So, not YouTube, Facebook, and share it amongst your friends. let them know about us. Can't do any harm, can it? I hope. I've been watching Never Too Old to Travel. He seems to get lots of views, not sure why though. He also puts his face on top of the video while he talks. He's the only one I've seen do this. Maybe try that and see how the view ratings go. And I had a look at what he was doing. The guy's 83. And he's obviously got an understanding of video editing and that type of thing. Because what he's done is and I can do it here now, that background behind me, I can take that out and then put something else behind me. It's using a thing called, in my program here, it's called Magic Mask. And you can add or take things out, and he's done that. It's really quite good. And yeah, I've had a look at a couple of his videos, and yeah, I subscribe to him. So thanks very much for the heads up on that one. I'm going to play a song for you, and it's this is a song that I wrote back in the 50s, not in the 50s, when I turned 50, and I was a muso, and I was at that point in time it was part-time muso. I wasn't a full-time muso, but somehow or other the song found its way into the playlist, and we actually recorded it one night at the Franklin's Tavern in Victoria Park in Perth. So I'll play a bit of that for you. The thing's called Never Too Old. The next one, I am loath to offer my opinions to any YouTube creator I watch. I watch because in general I enjoy the content. If you're giving me an opportunity for my 2 bobs worth, I'd say I'd like to see you have a barbecue or picnic at some of the lovely spots you visit. No need to focus on the food or the eating, but just the idea. Some of my fondest memories as a kid were going for a Sunday drive and stopping somewhere to boil a billy and cook a few snags on the grill. I get that this isn't always feasible or possible. Also, I'd happily contribute to a Patreon site or Kibblewhite kitty. Fuel and even time aren't cheap nowadays. Okay, first things first is that, again, I was travelling on my own most of the time. I did have partners on trips in 2010, 2011, 2015, and some of the outback trips we certainly showed some of the cooking that was happening there, but it was never done by me. In fact, my son won't let me in his kitchen, let alone cook for him on the road. He wants to live, he reckons, so that's fair enough. And I was never a person to go looking at the food thing and doing all that sort of thing. But, yeah, it's a bit late to do that for all the old stuff, but it's something to think about for the future, that's for sure. Now, Patreon site or Kibblewhite Kitty, I said to you earlier on, all of my stuff is... It's self-funded, always has been, and it means that I'm my own boss. I don't have to, go on about something that I don't really believe in or whatever it is. My integrity is more important than anything else. Patreon sites, I've had a look at those, and I don't know how they would work. I mean, okay, you would need to have a number of them. And when I say a number, I mean a pretty big number, for them to make it worth what their while, I would think. And then there's the buy me a coffee thing or whatever it is. Well, yeah, I've never bothered with any of that stuff. I just produce what I produce and I put it out there, and I get a pittance from YouTube for what I do, and it is a pittance, believe me. I can work 40 to 50 hours a week, and I can earn the grand sum of $20 or $30 a week out of that. Yeah, that's the truth of it. That's why I'd like you to, if you're not subscribed, maybe subscribe and maybe like and do all that sort of stuff. But not just me, any content creator that you like. More new stuff. Do a series of your trips. These one-off videos seem disjointed to me. Other than that, be yourself and keep up the good work. Okay. The one-off videos that are happening at the moment, they're a lot of them, they're old. They're back to 2010, and anywhere from 2021 back to 2010, I suppose. And that is because, as I've explained before, I've done my trips, and nobody seems to watch video for more than 2 or 3 minutes or 5 minutes. If they're really sort of sucked into it, maybe 6 or 7 minutes, and then they're off somewhere else. And buried in my driving, all of my trip videos, there are all these little towns that we went through. And if you switch off after 5 or 6 minutes, well, you never saw the rest of it. So I figured, well, okay, milk it, basically. And let's be honest, that's what it is, you're milking it. I went through my videos and I started cutting these towns out, and then going and researching, doing the stuff I should have done before I went through the towns. But then again, back in those days, we were going through the towns because we were coming home or something or other. It wasn't part of the original plan. Looking at it now, and I'm thinking, well, maybe it should have been part of the original plan. And so that's where I've done the research, learned about the towns, and then done the histories on them and put them up there. I think of a town called Gascoyne Junction in Western Australia. I actually did that in 2009. We were going up to have a look at Mount Augustus and the Kennedy Ranges. And we went through and I taped the town, and yep, we did it. 2010, end of 2010, December 2010, there was a cyclone went through and the area got flooded, and 100 and something or other year old pub that had been through many floods in the past was gone, got washed away, and a number of the housing and all that sort of thing. The whole town basically got obliterated. Now there's a new town there at Gascoyne Junction. I don't know if anyone else has got the town before the flood or not, but we've just uploaded the 2009 version of the town as it was back then. So every town has a history. Every town, regardless of when it was built or when we take the video or whatever it is, it's a snapshot of the town as it was at that time. So that's the one-off videos things. New stuff? Okay, again, yes. I've done Dongra 3 times in the last, 4 times in the last 2 years. Once moving the actual move to 6 Chimneys in Dongra, and then I've been up there 3 times since then, doing video work and that type of thing. Each of those trips, Albany to Dongra, have been documented and have been uploaded onto the net, and they're different. Okay, it's the same basic trip. It's a 9-hour trip, 10-hour trip, depending on how things go. It's 750 kilometres, and there's, as I said, there's 3 of those up there, so they are on-road trips, and as I said, they're all different. They all start in the middle of the night, which is interesting. But I found that I was able to talk to the camera and it didn't talk back to me, so that was all right. So, okay, other than that, be yourself and keep up the good work. I pretty much like everything you've done, slowly going back over everything. I have been doing a project for the last 6 months, but ill health, family circumstances, and now 2 broken elbows have slowed all that down. It was supposed to be done for the 50th anniversary of a project that my next door neighbour and I did, and an update. Perfect example of, okay, why we're there. People maybe just can't travel. That's for whatever reason. They might think they've got the time, and then things get in the way, like medical. You injure yourself, or something happens. So that's what we're there for, to fill in that time for you. I don't do too much travel at the moment, just local stuff, although I'm going back over my photos and videos of South America. I pop something up every now and again. I think I just do it from my own pleasure, and for anybody that is interested comes across it, and that's why my stuff started. That's why I started putting stuff up to start with. For my own stuff, it was something that I could go to and have a look at if I wanted to without having to dig through files to find it. Too often we take photos, they go into a photo album and never get seen again. Same with video. So by putting it somewhere, well, it means that someone can enjoy it, and it's there. It's pretty hard to please everybody. Some people will only comment that they don't like the title. I have one video, for example, I think it was Perth New Year's Fireworks 2021. Someone claimed that the title was crap. All I could think of was, what the F? I didn't enjoy the Backroad series. Okay, let's go back to so that, you know, someone claiming the title. We do get the disparaging comments from time to time, and when we check back on the people who have written the comments, and we check back on their channel history, and most of them keyboard warriors, they're just waiting for the freebie stuff because they've never, ever put anything up themselves. Says more about them than it says about me, I think, that's for sure. And it's pissing down with rain at the moment. You can probably hear it. I did enjoy the Backroad series. I was using this YouTube channel for classic car shows. This guy is a classic car nut. I had this idea of interviewing people. I know about their cars, but realised I probably wouldn't gain any traction until I put someone more attractive than me asking the questions. We've touched on that one before. I refuse to wear a bikini for anyone. I want to see exactly what you're providing. That's why I subscribed. I can't tell you what I want to say other than that. But I'll leave you with 2 thoughts. Some people say give the customers what they want, but that's not my approach. That's the writer. Our job is to figure out what they're going to want before they do. I think Henry Ford said once, if I'd asked customers what they wanted, they would have told me a faster horse. Steve Jobs said, people don't know what they want until you show it to them. Ain't that true? The other thought is a bit more morbid, but also germane. That Herman Melville died without much fame and certainly no money. It's only now that we respect and treasure the value of his work, which, like yours, paints a picture of a world that is disappearing faster than people can learn to appreciate it. Perhaps you'll find your audience in the 2100s, just like Herman Melville found his in the 1900s. So true, so true. So that's the Q&As as it's coming up at the moment. Now, thinking of Q&As, if you've got a thought, if you've got questions you want asked or whatever, or answered, do jot them down, put them up, and we'll have a look and see what we can do with it. More than happy to sit down and do this sort of thing. If you like seeing me do this, then fine. This is a different thing for me. It's not something that I do, and I don't do it comfortably. So maybe it's time to be out of the comfort zone, eh? Right, that's it for now. 30 minutes. Yeah, it's around about 30 minutes, so that's more than long enough. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. If you enjoyed this video, you might like to check out this video, or maybe browse this playlist. There are over 900 videos just like these on this channel. Subscribe and hit the notification bell, and we'll let you know when the next video is available. If you liked this video, hit the like button, comment, and feel free to share with your friends. Thanks for watching.